Hi guys, welcome to episode 6 of the Aftermath podcast. And as always, it's Teddy, and I'll be with Leo today, as well as Bark, Monk, Harley, and then maybe Jonesy will be here, but we'll see if she can join us. And for this episode, we are going to talk about different gaming styles, as well as other things that surrounds on how players play their game. Hi guys, say hello to everyone, and Leah, take it away after this.
Hey everyone, welcome to the podcast. So, so let us introduce yourselves, which state you're from, and let's start with Monk.
Hi everyone, I'm Monk. I play in State 187 and I'm currently one of the R4 in my alliance. I'm also a friend of I'm also a friend of Bark within this podcast with me.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope you'll all enjoy this podcast. Thank you.
Um, what's up? I'm Bart. I'm originally from State 136. That's my main. I also have an account in 187. Um, yeah, hope to shed some light.
Okay, I think we all know Harla is busy SVS, so we will leave her alone for a moment. She can come back.
Hi.
Hey, okay, so let's jump directly to the gaming style. How you guys like play? First of all, I would like to know that are you a spender or a medium spender or just an F2P? Monk?
I'm an FTP. I've never spent money in this game.
Ah, okay.
I'm a spender. Spent way too much money in this game.
I am mostly FTP.
Okay, mostly. Okay, got it.
Yeah, can't really say I haven't done any like spending.
Okay, great. So we have two F2Ps and one spender, heavy spender.
I
So
can represent the mid spender if you want, an F2P too.
you you are the biggest spender in this game because you spent on all the accounts. So you
I spent a lot. I have two accounts.
Well,
One's VIP 12, the other's 11, and I just so.
yeah. So how is your gaming style as an F2B, Monk and Harley? Yeah, can you just describe how do you guys play all the events with your gaming style?
As for me,
So
okay, Ali, you have
the
SVS,
way
so
that I do it, I do things differently than most people. I really truly focus hard on certain events. Like for example, the Travis event.
Mm-hmm.
I know exactly when that's coming around because I started in 200, I moved to 328. So I learned the rotation in 200, and I'm like, okay, when I moved to 328, I was like, all right, I know what I'm doing here. So that helped out a lot. And then, of
Okay.
course, being in THR, constantly taking capital and fighting in towers, that really helped as well. So I mean, it's a challenge, but for me personally, it's not a massive thing. The big thing I would suggest is probably making sure you stack things up and use them at the right time.
Okay, so how do you play the different events? Being an F2P, like you jump in each and every event with all your resources, or you just use it after one or two events?
I stack up. I will stock up for, like, for example, state versus state. Um, if I know skin events are coming out, like I'll stock up all of my speed ups. You'll see me go to a dead halt in BP. and then I just kind of drop everything I have and hope for the best. But I also have some really high spenders on my state, so it's just kind of like, yay, I got top 50, I'm happy.
Okay. So you stack up everything, you hoard everything, and you wait for the good event to get your ranks up, and you are not aiming on like top 10 or top 20. If you end up top 50, it's good enough for you.
Yeah, for the most part.
Yeah, but being in the top alliance and being in the heavy spender alliance is always going to help the F2P, right?
I think so, yes. Because you have, especially early game, it's very important because you have people who are constantly pushing, so they're always online, so you get the taps you need to help out with the times, and you use less speed ups, and it's really nice. And then, of course, later on, you'll fight. Well, I know I personally end up fighting my alliance for like the Travis event because I told them early on, guys, use these, like, do this right. If you do this right, you will get more speed ups. The more
Yeah.
speed ups you have, the less you have to spend. And so I ended up having to pour it out into the wild, which, if anybody's from the newer states, you know the struggle. those
Ye-
those advanced relocators are not free.
one of the new estates. I hate the one of the most important thing is like stamina. You cannot stack it up like with the supplies in the old estates you get. It just goes directly into your bar. It's
I hate that, but it does still stack. Like I can stop at, I don't know, Friday before Travis. Come Travis, if I don't do any of my intels or anything like that, I'll have over 1,000 just sitting there. So
yeah.
it does kind of stack up, but not like you're saying. It doesn't come in the little packages that you can monitor and tell.
Oh, I personally think that I think Teddy will also agree with me here. Like the stamina bar in the newer states is a bug because even though it stacks up, but it does not recharge because it's a waste of that
Nope.
200 stamina.
Yep.
So they never fixed it, or like, yeah.
I can get over 100 or over the, like I can go over, but what I do things differently than most people. You know how you get the little stamina packages in the backpack?
hmm
I don't use those unless I absolutely need to.
Yep, that's the only way you can stack up the stamina in the newer states, other than the bar.
So I'll start telling people, like, when the Travis event comes around, use your speed ups, not your stamina, and I'll let them stack it up. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, the big struggle for me isn't as much so much the stamina as it is those ports, though. Early games suck.
Okay. So, do you have any specific role in your alliance to do uh, to make up your gaming style, or it's just like tap 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 during the events and everything?
Um, I mean, you can go for certain bunkers. That is one thing I do suggest. Doing the bunkers correctly, not letting people go in and solo attack, like, can
hmm
help you out a lot because that's really annoying. I
Oh
do
yeah.
promote rallies, especially for first entry. And like now, we're at a stage now where bunkers don't really matter to us. We're almost 11 months in, so bunkers really don't matter to us anymore. So we're letting like smaller alliances that are, trying to grow. We're letting them
Mhm.
take first entry, and I always tell my guys, all right, when it says fortress fight, wait 5 minutes before you pour it in.
Yep. But uh, there are instances in which there are states in which the bunker and facilities fights are still going on, like in the older states also. Like they goes on and on and on. Like they don't have uh, didn't died the fighting spirit of theirs. So, but the rewards are like really bad in the Fortress event. So, how do you guys manage that events? Like, who gets the rewards? I'm pretty sure your state or your alliance might be having 100 plus members.
For a while we did even. Well, no, we did it attendance. I'm not gonna lie. At first we started doing it attendance, but now it's gotten to the point where we don't, the rewards are crap. So we just kind of go through and pick. Okay, so do you need these fragments? No, I'm capped. Well, fantastic. Do you need these fragments?
Uh,
But we did do attendance for a while because the way we saw it is if you didn't show up and you didn't port over there, then why are you getting rewards?
hmm.
But once it came around mid game where people stopped, we were pushing 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. We started doing it based on who needed it and based on, I guess, more so who wanted it than anything else because we don't really have a major use for it. The top spenders in my alliance from early on stopped taking bunker rewards. Like they would donate theirs to the alliance, which helped a lot.
Oh, okay. So thank you, Ale. Let's move on to Monk. Monk, how is your gaming style compared to Harley? Is it the still same way you play as an F2B?
Well, actually, I had to actually, if I have to be honest, I actually my playstyle is actually based on how the game events goes and adapt to it as it goes forward. Like in the beginning, I was in my alliance. There were not many spenders. There were, I would say, a few of a low spenders, and from there I went to bigger active alliance, and then from switching. At one point, I even went to an alliance where when my buddy Bark was in R4, and right now in my alliance we are still one of the top alliances, but we are not strong as the other top alliances in the state. And what I have seen in my state till now on the basis of gameplay is you have to actually, even as an FPT, if you're able to play with a spender and if you play right, you can perform better than a spender. Like I haven't spent a single money in this game till now, and but in the alliances where then there was a lot of heavy spenders, and so as an FPT, how I used to contribute to the alliance was that whenever there's events like bunkers, facility, reservoir raids, and all, I used to try my best to be active as much as I could, and then and on the basis of the events, before I actually used to just go randomly, not save just if an event comes, just try to score minimum points, not save for any big events or like that. But when state versus state came, our R5, my R5 in my previous alliance told me that try to save alliances resources and speed also state versus state as much as you can, and then and don't waste as much as you could on throwdowns and other events. And since then, and actually I took that advice from him, and ever since I started using the playstyle. So whenever any event comes like a throwdown and all, I don't invest heavily. I just go for a minimum bear points so that I can get all the rewards. And but when it comes to events like survival of the fittest or state or states, I go all out. And although it was difficult in the beginning, but in the current way I'm playing, I'm able to get about a minimum top 15 votes survival of the fittest and state versus state prep stage when it happens.
Nice. Yeah, since the state is older and most of the spenders are capped with all the events, they cannot do anything. They cannot participate. That's the added bonus, I guess.
Not necessarily, because if I have to say, most of the spenders in our state they invest heavily on the SQ skin event compared to other events, and And yeah, some of the heavy spenders do spend on the survival of the fittest or state versus state, but on one of the stages of those events, they go a bit little. But when it comes to stages like when they can train a lot of troops or something new comes out and they can do a lot of upgrade, they invest heavily in it. So so for me, when I understood this pattern, I never I started only when the SQ skin event came, I started forgetting it, but simply focus on survival of the fittest and stay resistant to use my resources.
Hmm. Interesting. I I used to hoard everything for the skin event itself. I was a mid spender, and I used to participate only in the skin event. And honestly, in state one, you can easily get the HQ skin in top 10 very easily. It's top topmost is like 8K points, so it's really easy. So you don't need to spend more. But I started understanding the gameplay and the events better. That's how like I used to play it as a mid spender, and I have never participated in SOTF or SVS because I was just building my account as strong as I can with all the stats, with research and whatever I needed for troop attack, defense, and everything. And then I started to participate in the other events when the new generation of heroes comes. It's like I skip one or two SOTF and then participate in the third or fourth one. But communicating with the alliance is the way to go. Like if everyone is competing with each other, then it's no point. Let's hear it from the heavy spender, Park.
Don't say it like that. It makes it sound bad. Well, so I've played a lot. I played for quite some time now. I started in 136, as I said. I didn't shout out my alliance, Sun, United Anarchy, the boys and girls over there. You know, I when I started this game, I started with a guy who came from State 17. My boy Jack Seller. He's no longer with us, but he quit, unfortunately. But he kind of taught me how to play in a sense, and I was a smart spender because there's two spenders in my opinion. No offense if I offend anyone with what I'm about to because a lot of spenders just pop things as they buy them, which is fair. They want to be on the top of the leaderboards. They want to show their power, I guess, and that's fine. But you, as a spender, if you play smart and you save for events and use things for events, because you have enough stuff to win every event, right? Because you spend, which
Yeah.
you can win every event. In 187, I remember I started. We have another guy, 187. His name's King Marine. We weren't on the alliance originally. He's a R5 of Oli over there, which is my other alliance there, and I was on the same alliance with him, and we had the first survival of the fittest, and immediately I could tell he was a smart spender because he saved for an event. And there was another guy who we thought was a spender. He just couldn't hang with us because he wasn't saving. He was trying to pop everything, be the biggest guy in the beginning. It's just you get so much more for winning events, and unlike some games, this game you get more from placing like top 1, 2, 3 at most. Like you get some rewards, but when it comes to like the progression of like super high end game progression, you don't get a ton of stuff comparatively to what you need. Like let's talk about red gear. How much stuff do you know what I mean? Like unless you're buying it, you're not really going to get it quickly. So you kind of have to place high in like really high in events. Like I know Harley was saying like top 50, like whoop-de, but like that you get in reality, you get nothing for what you'd want as a spender to be a rally leader or, that guy that has to be responsible for things in the SVS and holding buildings, et cetera, right?
Yeah. Perfect.
So like, for me, I generally, I've actually, I'm capped in my 136 state. I've fully maxed out currently. And I don't mind spending. Can't wait for Plasma 6 through 8. Woo! That's not thrilled, but it'll come. My current states, I mean, we're definitely dying out right now. It's pretty quiet. Our capital's very quiet. We're just kind of throwing rallies, getting points, etc. So it's hard to like want to spend when there's no competition, because as a spender for me, I really spent more because, as I said, my guy Jax Teller, he also spent like a madman. When you have a spending buddy, it's bad news. When you have
Really.
competition in your own alliance to spend, you see them buy 4 packs, you're like, okay, let me buy 4 pack. It's really bad. It's really bad. It's something I've had it in both states where I'm like, okay, this person spends a lot. Don't mind if I do. It's just, and I think Monk kind of hinted on that. When you see so many other people spending, it's kind of tempting to want to spend yourself.
Tempting. Yep, agree.
It's just like I have had that a lot. And when you're like a spender, like a big spender, it's just as bad. Like you actually end up spending way more than you would. Like I remember another memory I have. First Capital, I was playing with Jax again, and this was the first Capital one that starts at midnight. We were unaware of it. He couldn't beat this guy. He literally dropped like $500 after I had dropped like 300, and we were both able to beat this guy. Like because he saw me do it and beat him, and we were very close at the time. So it's just having a spending partner is it's bad, but it's also fun. It adds a cool element to the game because you're kind of competing inner alliance competition, which I think
Yep.
is a good thing.
Yeah, totally agree there.
But like now, as I said, there's not as many people playing at all in the older states. It's definitely getting quiet. So like skin events are the only way to do it. And as a max player, you literally can only do troop training. And now that it's Migo and every skin event's against 6 states, it's even harder. And it's like I have to spend even more. And it's not great. It's not great, in my opinion, at least.
No,
I'm not.
it-
I'm
it-
not rich, so let's put it. You know what I mean? Some
Yeah.
people, by all means, but like for me to just say I want to drop $500 for 2% troop attack, no, thank you. Like I'll pass.
Yeah, a lot of spenders are feeling the same heat. Like they cannot participate in any of the other events, which give them a new hero fragments or anything, other than they have like troop training, nothing else.
And that's
And
it.
a lot of stuff is in the backpack, but they cannot use it,
Yep.
and that's really shame.
Yeah, it's bad and it's also good because as much as we want as a spender, we want more stuff to come into the game, right? Give me new medals, give me new hero gear, give me all this stuff, right? It really ruins the way the game works with because everyone has a spot in the game, right? You have your free to play players, you have your somewhat spenders, and you have your big spenders. Like the game would not function without all of them existing because you need the small players to fill the rallies. You need the big players to host the rallies, and you need the middle players to fill in the gaps all in between. Like everyone plays a part. So it's pretty essential to have everyone there. But if you do something like that, like Plasma 6 through 8, how many people haven't even gotten to Plasma 5 yet who've had it for months? You know?
Yeah.
Because you don't like so 6 through 8, it's just gonna I don't know if you've seen anything. I do a lot of PvP stuff. I really enjoy like water raids and things like that. Like Wacko with new red gear is unbelievable in raid. Like you can't defend against it unless you have it. Almost. Like I've saw some crazy hits, like almost 2 million troops of not bad stats, but no Wacko, and it's just a win. Like 600,000 wounded plus the lot, like 6 to 700,000 in one hit. It's just like that's so you go any further down that line, you're really pushing that boundary of that free to play player not even being allowed to play because they're so outmatched.
Yeah, but it's a good thing that in raid you get the troops back.
No, yeah, no, for sure. But I mean, how fun is it as a free to play player in general to go in and get hit once and you're zeroed pretty much?
Zeroed, yep. Yeah, it's
there's a raid.
Yeah, it was kind of a demoralizing for many players or many states when Wacko was not available for everyone.
For
And
sure.
yep, and the Reservoir League was unbalanced. Like I don't know what developers were thinking at that time, but
I mean, I complained about it. I said it's stupid. I mean, considering how broken the Euro was, you can't deny people something like, especially something that's overpowered. If it was underpowered, sure, because it doesn't give you a competitive advantage. But when you're literally denying someone a competitive advantage that's like money gated, but you're just not letting it go to other people, like our state versus state, the last one we had, we lost. It was against the Wacko state. We couldn't beat them.
You cannot do anything. Yeah, you can. It's like your hands and legs are cut out, like, and you are just sitting there.
So now that he's out, I mean, it's just more money for them. So I guess it's fine. But it's at least more balanced to actually have a fight, because it's really demoralizing going up against a fight that you pretty much know you can't win.
Yep.
Like I remember an SVS, the first SVS we ever had in our state. There was a guy in their state. No one in our state was max. We don't really have any like super duper crazy spenders. One of our guys kind of become that role, but he was never to start. And the first day versus state, we went up against a fully max player, and it was we had to have the 3 best players in our state triple rally to knock them out. Otherwise, we couldn't do it. It's like, why would I want to play that? It's not fun. It's not competitive at all.
Yep. It's 2 rallies are understandable, but 3 and you cannot like make a dent. It's like complete waste of time.
Just for him to come solo back in, it's
Yep.
not fun.
Then that's that.
Definitely not enjoyable.
I'm gonna butt in a little. I've been reading some of the comments here, and they said that Bark has such a nice podcast voice, and then someone said Bark sounds like Jeff Daniels.
Jeff Daniels. Is it
Yeah,
bad? I don't know who that
this
is.
I don't even know, probably a celebrity. So I'm just going to share my experience. I started playing this game purely F2P in State 35. And by that time, it was one of the states that topped the leaderboards when I started. And I kept an account there until I got like Plasma 1. And when I moved to other states, I started playing other states, and I feel bad that I can't keep up, like with the amount of new features that has been added, and I'm quite a little competitive when it comes to events. When I was in a peak of being an active player, but nowadays I just go online, do my dailies, and leave. But then eventually I transitioned to spending on every account that I need to go for every state. I spend a little here and there, but now I'm fixed to 2 accounts that I mostly spend, but I don't even see myself as a big spender. I'm just going to say that I'll probably be an occasional spender because I don't spend on every event. And I don't drop my items on every event. Like I spend, but my gaming style is still of an F2P. Like I save up and drop it at once so I can get better rewards, or I would just do the what do you call that, the stage points, and then leave and then wait for a few weeks again and do it again.
Sure. I mean, that's how you got to build up, really. Saving and like hoarding for events. Even when this dry patch, I took a little break from the game for a couple of months. I had a friend play on my account, keeping it up, and he spent a little bit, but in reality, he's just hoarding stuff for me. So I can come back and potentially compete in an event. Like right now, there's the survival of the fittest in our state, and it's Amiga one and Bloodsport. I'm not going to win it. I have no intentions of winning it because I don't need fragments either. But it just allows me to save more. Saving is your friend in this game.
Hey, okay. Now I think all the questions are covered. Now the important question arises is like, what is your opinion in the game is unbalanced compared to the gaming styles of the players, or between the states where they do not give out stuff, like there are states matched with the events where they don't have Gen 5 and they are matched with Gen 6, like that. And how unbalanced do you think that the game is?
I'm not gonna lie, pretty imbalanced.
You have to do better than that, Harley.
I was gonna say I need an explanation with it.
Yep.
So I guess it depends. Like, it depends on what you're doing. If you're talking about state versus state, no, we haven't really had any massive, you know, one-sided, unless it's been us that's been one-sided, and that's why I don't notice it. Um, but for the most part, like even the one we're doing right now, it's pretty on par. We can knock each other out. There isn't a particular side that just is completely useless. Reservoir raids, I have definitely noticed, are very lopsided. Um, Borderline laughable at times. I've had some reservoir raids where we were, I would say, about 2.6K behind the other person. And we look at it and go, oh, a lot of people from my states are from my state have told me some of theirs, and they've been terribly lopsided. Either we're the ones that are dominating or we're being dominated. So the mechanics on that, gens are a big factor in those. I've noticed, for example, we've had 4, maybe 5 reservoir raids where we have gone up against people who had like Gen 5 when we were still Gen 3. We've had people who have had Gen 6, and we're sitting here like looking at them going, oh, that's nice. And some of my favorite ones are the ones that have like Ernie and Zach, and we can't get those ever.
I will say
So,
the heroes are not that crazy. I will say Ernie's a little secretly busted, but that's just undisclosable information. So
well, yeah, but it's kind of disheartening when you don't have anybody who can really knock out that Roxy who's sitting in the middle.
no, that's I think on that note, balance of heroes needs to be more important. You should be able to have a version or a group of heroes. You shouldn't be I have to run this hero, and this hero, otherwise I'm gonna lose by a lot. Like I don't find that to be a good balance to the game, especially when it comes to
Yeah.
PvP. You can continue. Sorry
Uh,
for intruding.
no, you're right. And like that's something that we sticker at. The other thing was Len Wacko. That's a very big one lately. I mean, it's nice that he's out now for everybody, but for a while there, he wasn't. And he did play a good factor in what you could and couldn't do. And not just in like Reservoir Raid, but also Showdown. And when you have somebody who's sitting in the top 10 on global in your alliance, you're going to get matched up with some really, how do I put this, ouchy people. So, yeah.
Yeah, to be honest, like Alliance Showdown event is now becoming a joke with Daryl and Wacko. It's like the formation and the skills are totally unbalanced, and even like 200 or 300% difference in stats, players can be beat easily with epic resonated Daryl and Wacko. So it's like, oh man, what are you doing, guys?
Yep, I'd agree with that. I think Showdown's kind of. I don't know if Showdown was fine. I don't know how if I like the formula of how it works because pretty much everyone runs 2 strong lanes, right? It's just the most logical strat. And it's not really about how good you are if you're stronger. It's about, or even if you write the right formation, it's literally ends up coming down to, did your weak lane hit their strong lane? How often does the weak lane hit the other weak lane? I almost feel like never.
Never.
See,
Yep.
it comes down to playing, it's like playing paper, rock, scissors behind your
Yep.
back.
Yeah, totally.
I don't think that's a very good competitive system.
And it's still in beta.
It's been in beta for how long now?
Almost a year
I
or
feel like Showdown's
half.
been out for quite some time.
Yep.
I don't know what they would do to change it, to be honest. Like I'm not saying I have a better idea. I don't know if that's the one to make it
I
competitive.
think they should increase the rankings because it's kind of like alt alliances are having master rankings now.
Yeah,
It
that'd be
needs
interesting if they go past it.
yeah it should be then and then they can increase the competitiveness or the matching between the alliances. Right now, most of the alliances are having 20 billion uh, barrel power for an alliance. So if they can increase the ranking, then the matching will be about that itself.
Even if they don't increase the ranking, they could just make it harder to achieve the ranking. So like if you lose, like if you're not first or second, you're literally losing stars or you're dropping out. Like you could be more harsh on the ranking system.
I
Right.
think I think if you are third or fourth, you lose a flag, you lose a star, I guess.
No, I get. I mean, like if you lose like fifth place, like you don't get any flags, like you get knocked out. Like be really harsh
Oh
and
yeah,
aggressive.
oh yeah, that can be a possibility. Yeah.
That way you kind of keep the high, like being master. Like I mean, you showdown, throwdown, right? Like being master rank in both of them for most alliances now. It's kind of like it's in this, especially as a higher up alliance, like 1, 2, 3, 4. It's more like a necessity than it is like it's like an expectation rather than an actual like goal, right? I feel.
Totally. And the rewards are not that good that pushes people to spend or invest their time.
Yeah, I personally don't like. I prefer showdown because I think there is some tactic to it. Like if you do, put in the time and effort to go with the right troop formations and stuff, use the right heroes, you do. It's a little satisfying winning, but
But it's pain in the ass to convince so many people in the alliance,
yeah.
like 60 people, and to tell them that to move your ass to,
Realistically, it's just let them register and let the R4s pick the lanes for the people, please. Just have them
Oh my
register with their
God,
troops.
please,
Like
please
I
let
had that
us.
idea so long ago, and it's like just let it happen. It's so easy. It'd be so
Also,
nice.
can we have it a kick you out of the lane option too? That would be fantastic. Because next time I see somebody that sends an even split, I swear to God, I'm just gonna choke them
Balance
in
march.
the kindest possible way.
I think Harley find it really hard to get people to the perfect lane or perfect order.
No, I'm not even kidding. Like we tell them, okay, guys, we're gonna jump in our lanes early. Don't worry about this. Don't worry about this. Just get there, because we're gonna need a week to tell you where to go.
Why? That's why it's so easy. It's so simple if you just registered for Showdown and your R4s and how R4s and R5s can put in teams for raid, just like that, but just for Showdown.
Yep. And
Yeah,
it,
that
it,
would
it,
that would actually help how the showdown goes. I mean, there will be flaws and bugs in every single part. Even if you try to make the system as stable as fun as you make, there will be actually some places where the system fails.
Nothing
yeah,
is perfect.
yeah. As you suggested, like they can pick and choose like in Reservoir Raid. They have the development ready. They just need to implement it into the showdown.
Yep.
And the most annoying part is the game chat. Oh my god.
Translator's not the best either.
Aww.
Did you
What's
said
wrong? You
something,
don't want
Harley?
to go through. You don't want to go through and click all 56,000 of your group messages that you just sent
Oh, that's
individually,
the situation.
one by one.
I mean, that's probably one of the hardest reasons why it's hard to like portray messages, like big group messages, because you have people in your lines that are French, Italian, Russian, Polish, English, like it's just Chinese, Japanese, Korean. It goes on. There's so many different languages, and how often the translator does not come up with what you want, or even close to it. In some dialects, like some people, have
specific dialects. I remember we had a guy in our state. He speaks like a specific dialect in Polish, and it just, you try to translate it, nothing happens. It just doesn't work simply. So, how can you make someone like be content if they can't even speak their language, right?
Yeah.
And then, of course, you got the fact that it doesn't translate group messages. That part's really annoying. I have so many people because I have an international alliance. So I have a lot of people that go, I don't understand that. Hold, please. I have a bot on Discord that'll help you.
Okay, let's hear it from Monk about how unbalanced is the game now.
I would say pretty much it's unbalanced. First, it really took. If I have to be honest, to understand even how the game works and how to actually move forward, it took me about 4 to 5 months because it was that point when I started to know the basic things, started implementing it, and then about the time when I knew about a bare minimum, I was able to reach in one of the top strong alliances which participated in events actively, and some tips from spenders actually does help for a FPG, but the game is really unbalanced. Like if I have to say, like reservoir rate, sometimes the matchmaking is so unbalanced. Like on one side only your top rally leads and launchers can do something, while the rest of the team, you're just left there saying nothing. Only you either join this or you have to play, or you hope no one will come there to burn you or something like that. And even for the events, like when something new releases, like let me say, like currently we have a T11 and something it says already released, and the game is already progressing for plasma 6 to 8. Even I have not, I've barely completed my plasma 3 whole operate this SOTF, and now I don't know how far I'm going to go with the plasma 4 and plasma 5 above. And as for speaking of stats, my research is comparatively okay, but when I have to compete against another player, the area where I will fall down as an FTP will be chief gears and badges, because it was not up until some times ago, there was no option for an FTP to get tactical gear designs. That is one area where as an FTP you're fucked up as a non-spender, because for other things like hero gear materials, you can get both hero gear designs and gear designs either from sometimes a minimum from infected fiends, sometimes from fortified facility hero crate reward, or mostly if you need a use number, you can get it easily from influencer trap. And designs, only the option is from the influencer trap. As for chief gear badges, capital clash gives a play. I think it gives a very minimum amount of resources to which you can craft badges, and then about other things like now you need to get your heroes ready, you need to get something stats ready, you need to get about your playstyle ready. Sometimes it's totally fucked up. You want to go forward, but because of the system how the game works, you can't go forward. Like when Roxy or something was released in our state, within 2 weeks we had our SVS, and the main reason why we lost Roxy was our rally lead Mary. His MNLE could not compete against the state 184's DS Roxy. That was probably one of the most scary moments I've ever seen in my life. I mean, just because of when the new items dropped out, the first person who plays it right had to win. And similarly, last SVS in 187, due to the Red Gear was released like 2 to 3 days ago before the war stage of SVS. Not most of those, I think, and just now today in SOTF, in our today's capital class and for SOTF, some of the players just maxed out their red gears while I'm still grinding to get my blue gear to proper gear. I mean, it's totally fucked up. I can try to move forward, but at the pace at which the game releases the resources, the game releases new items for the events, it's really difficult to play as a FPT to move forward.
Just a quick side note. I did tell Maddie he needed to get Roxy for that SVS, and he went with him and Eli. Just gonna put it out there. The information was given.
I'm just teasing. I'd agree on his point though. Like free to play is it's hard. It's hard because at the end of the day, these games are made to make money. They want people to spend. It's what it is. And you got to know when you come in, that is the game we're playing, right? They're not going to change it, even though some might want it, some might want less. I mean, you look at all these people on the top of the leaderboards. Like, I mean, solo BP used to be not crazy, but the top 100 solo BP right now, let me scroll down to it. 100 is almost 1.3 billion. It used to like, I remember when Thaxton wasn't even at that number. Like no one was even over 1 billion. Like nowadays there's so many people that are just so high up. If you don't progress content faster, you're going to lose all the people that do spend, which is not what they want. Unfortunately, like as much as we want the balance, if you lose the spenders, you lose the money that kind of continues the game, right? Because you need your player base, right? Which is where a lot of free to play come. Your middle pack, as we said, the middle spenders, and then the big spenders who do input a ton of money into the game.
Yeah, I agree.
Like I said, it's a balance between everybody.
I mean, it's like any type of game style is very important in every game. It's because it's how the game works. It's the nature of the game. You can't just add a lot, like all spenders, all mid spenders. You need a variety of gaming styles, not just on how they do your gameplays, but at the same time on how they spend or how they do their game. It's because it's how make the games work or makes the games at the same time, I'm losing my words here. I don't know what's happening to me, but it's more of we need the spenders to support the needs of the game, like to support the game. We need F2P to make a buzz, and at the same time, we need the middle spenders. So, in that circle there, if one is missing there, then the game won't progress or won't develop. And at the same time, you are going to add the developers on that side. That makes it 4 sides there. Like what is happening in SOS now, like they're releasing just a lot of things all at the same time, just releasing without even listening to the feedback of their players, which result to even spenders are quitting the game. Even spenders are stop playing the game, and that there speaks volume. It's not just because the game gets boring at the same time, but it's more of even spenders or mid spenders or even F2P are all affected of what is happening in the game. It's not just the F2P, it's not just the mid spender, but also spenders. I've seen a lot of spenders actually selling their accounts now, or spenders that doesn't even come to the game or play their game anymore, or just go like 1 hour a day and then just leave.
For sure. I mean, that was me, borderline twice. But I like the people I play with way too much. I just can't leave them. That's my thing. You meet so many cool people. It's hard to just say farewell and not talk to them.
Most of the players play, even if they don't really like playing. It's the social aspect of the game. Because I've been seeing this in different states that I'm in. It's more like how they made friends and the I'm telling you guys, I'm running out of words. I don't know why. What's wrong with me today? I don't know. It's maybe because I'm sick. But then before we go, I just wanted to ask one question for all our panelists today, or even those who are listening. If you want to answer this question, post a comment either in Discord or on YouTube, and I'm going to read this. But before that, I'm going to give you the first code. The first code will be, why are you leaking? Let me flash that thing. And there, 1 sec. So why are you leaking is our first code for today. This is supposed to be, why are you leaking codes? Because even if we have little people listening to us or watching us, it runs out when this code is for like 800 people, but it's always running out every time. I don't know why. So that's the first code.
Ilya said that code must be leaked.
Probably now. It already did before I even started. So that's the first code, guys. So this is the question that I want to ask all players, including those who are listening now and also those who are in Discord. Like I said, you can type your answer on the discussion part of this Discord or on YouTube. My question is, as a player, what is your advice to new players that are just starting the game? Maybe I'll start with Bark, and then we go with Harley, and then Monk.
Starting with me, huh? Phew. Uh so you start well. I know the states are a lot different now, compared to what I'm used to with like the way lines, towers, and things work. I know it's very different. But in reality, I guess when you go in, think about what you're willing to do, what you want to do with the game. That's important. Because I went in, I didn't know what I wanted to do, and that's kind of how I ended up falling down the rabbit hole of spending as much money as I did. Right? If you go in knowing what you want, kind of having an expectation, like if you want to be the big guy to spend, do it smart. If you want to be the free to play player, try to make friends, try to be the sociable person. Like have a realistic goal of what you want to accomplish in the game. Don't go in blind because that's when you'll probably end up making wrong decisions. Also, this is for not just new players. If it's remember it's a game. Don't people overreact in the game all the time. Like people just need to take a step back, realize they're playing a video game, and just understand that. So like when they're talking to people, people are gonna be mean on the internet. Like there's a lot of snowflakes out there. It's 2021. So just remember you're playing a video game. That's like my biggest thing. So don't take things too seriously when people talk. Try to keep a level head. It doesn't get you anywhere to not do that. So that's my key of advice. And treat everyone with respect when you're out there because you get what you give, right? That's what they say. That's my advice.
All right, let's hear it from Harley.
Oh, you need to repeat the question because I didn't also listen.
She is laughing. So the question is, as a player, what is your advice to new players or players who are just starting the game, be it when it comes to social aspect of the game or how are they going to play their game or anything like that?
My advice to a new player is to always remember that when you speak or your actions that you do, you're not just doing it to yourself, you're also representing your alliance. So if you don't want to put on a persona of, I don't know, toxicity or give your alliance a bad name or, have people looking down on you, remember, treat others with respect. Yeah, there are going to be people, like you said, that are toxic and will put people down and bully people and, bring, for some reason, we have people that bring IRL stuff into the game. Like, you're going to have people that I call them keyboard warriors. They like to run their mouths behind a keyboard. Don't let them get to you. They remember at the end of the day, it's a bunch of strangers. They don't know you. You don't know them. And if you are one of those people who does like to do things like that, you need to keep in mind that you don't know what somebody else is going through IRL. So try not to be that person. As far as gameplay goes, play your own style. Don't get caught up in a trend. I know a lot of people who are free to play.
We lost Harley.
Did you lose
Looks-
me?
Yep, you're back now.
What was the
Last
last
thing
thing
I
you
said
heard?
was, a lot of people that are free to play.
I know a lot of people like myself that are mostly free to play, and we've made it just fine. I know a lot of people who are mile spenders. They've made it just fine. That's their choice. That's how they play. I know people who are top spenders, and that's good for them. Like, I'm glad that they're around because without them, we wouldn't have what we have. Play at your own pace. Don't try to be the superhuman person. I also know one person that comes from one of my older states that almost went broke trying to keep up with the trend, and I'm like, why would you even do that to yourself? So be mindful of what you do.
Yeah, real life definitely comes first in the game, every aspect of it.
Thank you, all. And the advice you gave to all the new states is really gold, because all the new states are having a bad experience about the game, with the social aspect being the harassment cases, or the being the bullies and everything. Yeah, it's part of the game, but it's continuously growing in the newer states. And we also did the podcast for that specifically. But people should like just chill out, play their own game, and grow at their own pace. No need to compete in everything, like spending or being too involved in the game. Also, you have your real life. You should enjoy the game when you come into the game.
True. And before we go with Monk, I want to read some of the comments here before it gets buried. From Ilya, she said, find a game with better developers before you form the social relations that keep you here. And then from YouTube, we have Meg who said, I'm in a French alliance. They always explain to me if I don't understand. It depends from players and whether they want to help you. And then I found another, oh, find the other post that comment here that she said that pay attention to your items and at the same time use them wisely. I think it was from Kona earlier. And let's hear it from Monk.
Well, if there's any advice I would like to give, it was if you're starting new. I mean, it is always better to make friends at the beginning, even if you're a spender or non-spender anything. Because if you have a good person as a friend, if you have a good person who can help you, who can understand your problem and help you as you grow up, it will really help you even in the later stages of the game. Like in my first alliance, I met this guy whose name was Mike. Is originally from Spain. I actually literally followed him to the four alliances for four alliances we played together, and after that the game started getting old. It was about capital. Everyone started getting in their lives, and then we had to go. So even sometimes when he comes into the game, I talk with him. Even in Facebook, sometimes I try to chat with him, but always try to make good friends in the beginning who can understand you and who can support you as you grow up. And then the next advice I would like to give is if you are a FPT and are thinking to play in this game, please don't play in the new state. I actually created an account in state 344 something accidental. I don't remember. And that state, and that state, because the game mechanics were completely different, I couldn't actually keep up. And I have another account in state 666. Oh boy, I don't think I need to speak anymore about that. State 666. And if you are a new player who wishes to play this game, pick the right old state. I mean, state below 200 and start from there, because that way you may learn about the game mechanics and progress a bit easily than the other states. However, for the growth of a player, a new state is always more helpful. And the next advice we will give is it is not necessary that you have to participate in all the events. Like if you focus on, like I have some of my friends in my alliance who focus heavily on Throwdown and don't bother in skin events, SVS or SOTF, and they're happy with their rankings in the Throwdowns. Some people they focus on side events, and they don't bother about what the game give and all. In the end, it's all about having fun. So if you want to have fun and you play right, always think what you're gonna do and do it better. And the next advice would be is you know like some of our colleagues said earlier, you don't have to be top of the game in the beginning. Like for me, I was actually saving up when I started playing with the Bark in 187. I started saying when most of the players were top players, and because of that, it encouraged me to do better. And so what I did was I started investing my fragments so that when I had enough fragments for Zoe and Zoe would get released, I would invest 100 fragments so I could get Zoe immediately to Major 1, because as an FPT there are some heroes in the beginning that like Zoe, and after that Tyler, and after that which Tweak, and now currently it's Jess. Those heroes are actually difficult for an FPT to get easily in the beginning, but it is actually somewhat obtainable if you focus on this such events. So the moment I unlocked when Tyler got released and I saved enough fragments, and the moment I unlocked Tyler, I was suddenly started playing more better than the most of the players. So take your time to grow. There's no need to rush in growing. Take your time to grow. Always understand the game mechanics, and if you have some friends around you who don't know how to play, give them some advice, teach them, and then grow as a family, because that way only it will help you, benefit you more than anything else. Those are the advice I would like to suggest anyone who would like to start this game. Thank you.
Thank you, Monks. And I want to read another comment from YouTube. This is from Eric, and he said, "Don't lose your why. Learn your role, and if you're not going to be active or participate, then don't play this game. If you get kicked from an alliance, don't get all emotional." Which is true. I agree with that.
True.
I mean,
So true.
I mean, just in all honesty, this is a game. So if you want to succeed or you want to grow, play your part. Like what the other panelists said, that if you're an F2P, do your part. If you can't spend, then always be active on every event. Be or participate on every event if you can, and try to be. This is one of the problem in some of my alliances in other states, is when it comes to donation. It's just like one donation, and they always forgot. Like, just do at least one donation a day, guys, and it's all fine. None never do it again, or not doing it at all. And I think we have a few people here who are in the stage right now. And if you guys wanted to speak about the topic, and before we go, feel free to speak your part. I think we have Bunny and we have Banks. If you want
Yeah,
to state your opinion.
Bunny is from 699 and he wants to
Oh
speak
yeah.
about the current topic.
All right.
Does he have access to speak?
Yeah, I think he is in the stage now. Also Banks.
Okay, let me
I don't
check.
know how this works, you know. I'm a noob when it comes to Discord.
Okay,
While you're
I'm giving.
while you're figuring it out, I got two more things I thought of coming off like side comments. Ask questions as anyone that's like, don't be afraid to talk and ask questions to bigger players. I felt as I played, people were legitimately scared to talk to me as a big player. I I don't know if anyone else would agree with that. As a big player, I just generally feel like people think if I say the wrong thing to this guy, he's going to zero me. And in reality, I love helping people. So don't be afraid to ask questions in general. Also, you send the proper true formations. Doesn't matter who you are, people are going to love you. And read your group
More
messages.
than you know.
Chief is right, actually. My body bark is right.
Little
Yeah.
thing.
Hello, I'm Banks from
Hello.
State 230.
Hello?
I do agree with everybody from what they have said on the current topic. Pretty much, if you do start in a new state and you are a new player, try to make friends with as many people as you can. You know, be considerate, be respectful, because even being the smallest player when you're first starting off, that can actually get you in one of the higher alliances, just because you are respectful with other players and others are more than willing to help you grow. I'm one of I'm in the top 30 for power in my state. A medium spender. I was a high spender starting off, but like you guys said, playing smart with the amount of money that you spend in the game for each of the events helps you out drastically. And sorry about my voice, I'm actually sick right now. So, but another thing that I can advise newer players to do, if they are able to do it, is create a secondary account one thing that I did not hear being discussed in this is the amount of resources it takes to actually upgrade everything at a certain point. And starting to gain resources starting off is a very high benefit, because once you get up to higher tier troops and your buildings, the amount of resources that it takes to upgrade is insane, and you can run out of those quickly. And being in a higher alliance to be able to protect those resources or bubbling constantly can help you out in the long run when you start playing the game, because you can have all the parts and all the speed ups that you want, but without those resources, you're dead in the water. And that is another thing that will hold you back from even competing against other players.
Okay, let's hear from Bunny what he has to say about this topic.
The lost? Can you guys hear him?
I cannot.
I cannot either.
Bunny, I think you need to try to leave the voice again and then rejoin. Let's see if we can do that.
I asked him to do it, and I gave him the role also, but I don't know what's happening.
All right, so I'm just going to repeat it because I think we have additional viewers on YouTube. And the question, guys, is anyone can answer this. As a player, what is your advice to new players or players who are just starting the game? And who else is going to talk? A lot of people are just like shy to talk, I think. But since we are going to wait for Bunny, I think I'm just going to close the live stream and just continue talking here in Discord.
Yay! It's free for all time.
All right, one sec, guys. I need to plug this up and put in the last code we have. So the last code would be, one sec. Let's see how fast will this go, guys. Our code is another Saturday. That's the code. Okay, you got it? Let me see. Image is another code. So you're seeing now. Last gift code before we go is another Saturday. And for those who are late on the podcast, you can actually listen the replays for this via Spotify and then Anchor, and then we also have a WordPress for you guys to listen. And of course, you can always check out this YouTube channel or go back to this YouTube channel if you want to listen or watch for the replays. But if you don't like watching videos with just people typing and talking here, you can switch to Spotify and then Anchor for this one. So for our next episode, it will be episode 7. We might try to talk about heroes and different functions of different heroes as well. We'll see if you guys wanted to be in the podcast, to send a message to the COT podcaster or send me a message on my private Discord or Leo or any of the collab member, and we're going to try to facilitate it with you guys. Let's try to listen if Bunny is back before we go or close the live stream, guys. I think
Yeah,
it's gone.
I think no, I re-invited him to the as a speaker. Let's see.
All right, let's see if we can wait for that. But before Bunny is going to come back, I just wanted to say thank you to everyone, to the panelists, and for those who are always here listening and supporting this podcast and coming over to spend your time and listening to us, or to the panelists especially, for taking your time and joining for this Saturday.
Glad to be here.
Well, thank you for inviting, and I'm honored to be here. And hopefully, we can continue events like this in the future. And this one's for Chief. Hey, Chief, bring your Steve 136 account to 187, buddy.
Yeah, I
Hello?
All right, I think we can hear Bunny now. Hi, Bunny.
Hi. Oh, thank you. Sorry, I'm having technical issues here with Discord and it was acting all weird. I couldn't be able to speaking, but thank you for letting me speak here for a minute. I did realize that you guys were all leaving, so again, I apologize.
No, it's okay. We're actually waiting for you to come back before we go. We always leave or stop the live stream, but we continue to talk. We always continue to talk here on the podcast after the live stream. That's what we usually do.
Thank you.
And
So
yeah.
I was
Lost again. Oh, he's
yeah.
back.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm still trying to get the hang of the push to talk and everything because I'm not always doing that. But it was just a topic about the spenders and the community of teaching these new players about the free to play and the aspects of just learning how to play within your financials or your play style. I
Why use open mic?
I'm sorry.
You cut out. That's why.
We didn't hear you.
Oh, I'm a moderate spender, just a very light spender here and there. But I noticed that I can't compete with somebody that is spending over 20, 30K in within a 50-day period. I know my limits, and I encourage everybody to understand you need to be comfortable about your limits and know that you can't be upset if those challenges happen to you and you can't win. So instead of trying to be a spender and everything.
Did we lose him again?
Yep, we did.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Because
I think you need to press that push to talk button all the time, I guess.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I can't. The area that I'm in, it's not going to be able to let me. I do apologize, and maybe I could talk in some other time.
No worries, no worries. Take your time.
No problem, Bunny. I actually scheduled you for another episode as well, so we'll get to that, and you can participate anytime you want as well. Just send a message. But since sometimes I get drowned with all the messages from you guys, that's why I keep telling people that if you want to be a part of the podcast, send that message to the COT podcaster account because on this personal account that I'm using, I can't keep track because of a lot of messages that I'm getting. But sometimes I forgot about people who send me a message, and then when I come to ask for confirmation, and probably some of them are just busy, so I totally forget about them, and then I will realize that, oh, hey, that person actually asked me if they wanted to be in the podcast. All right, I think we are going to close this live stream, and we're just going to continue here on the Discord. Well, and say goodbye. So that's it for today, guys, and I'll see you next Saturday again. For the next episode, we are going to talk about heroes and then the functions of each hero, and then how often these heroes coming out, and what are the different generation of heroes, and anything about heroes we might just try to check also for the formation of heroes if the panelists are willing to give it to us. And
I
see
think
you next Saturday.
are we
Thank you for
off?
having
Yes,
us.
Leo? Now, hold on. I'm going to say off.
Okay.
All right, guys. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Start.
Thank you, everyone.
Say bye, guys.
Later.
Bye. Have a good day.
Bye.